All right, hi folks. Um, Here we go. So I've been thinking about two problems for a couple of years at Adobe. One is I run the platform Behance for creatives, and I've thought a lot of how often does it happen to an artist if you're a photographer, if you're an illustrator, if you're a graphic designer, you create this amazing work, it goes viral, and nobody knows you created it, right? How often do you get that exposure for your work without that layer of attribution? Unfortunately, it happens all the time. And I've seen this, leading Behance for just about a decade now. And so that's been a thing that I've thought about pretty deeply of how do we make sure artists get the right credit and the attribution for their work. The second is sort of more of a macro problem, and what we see across sort of our society, which is the challenges of misinformation and disinformation. And how often when you see a video or a photo online on whatever social platform you're on, you kind of wonder, is this thing real? Is it fake? Has it been edited? How do I trust this thing that I see? And so how do we reestablish trust online in the things that we see? And they can be sort of innocuous, just fun photos of you and sort of your friends out, or they could be much more serious things like pictures of wildfires or really important political events. So these two challenges, right? How do you trust what you see online? How do you make sure artists get credit for their work? We launched an initiative 2 years ago called the Content Authenticity Initiative, which is really dedicated to helping tackle these challenges. And we looked at it a number of different ways, and we really centered around a key challenge here, which is how do you establish provenance, real provenance, from the time it goes from photons in a photograph, or when you first open up a tool like Photoshop or whatever tool that you use, to the time it goes out and becomes pixels and out into the world and it gets sort of transferred throughout there. And we've been focused on building this as an open standard, an attribution framework that secures metadata to your assets wherever they travel throughout in the world. And then about a year ago, I was late to the game and discovered NFTs and found this amazing innovation that was happening in this space. And I thought pretty quickly there, NFTs provide this perfect provenance for what happens to an asset, to, again, a piece of art once it's on chain. When it is on-chain, you know exactly what happened to that piece of content forever after. But what about before? What about when the thing is first created? And how do you stop the folks that are out there? And the beauty of a permissionless system is that anyone can do anything. That's also the downside of it. Anyone can take an asset, bring it on-chain, and mint it and claim it as their own. The copy minting, the sort of right-click, save as, remint, is a real challenge that's out there. And so how do we sort of bridge these two worlds of provenance of the artwork before it gets on-chain to what happens when it comes on-chain as an NFT? So we launched this feature in Photoshop just about a week and a half ago, and it's called Content Credentials. And what it allows you to do is to attach this tamper-evident metadata to your, starting with images, to your creation. And this includes a couple of key things. Your name, who signed it, what you use, the tool that you use, something like Photoshop, all of the edits and the history that you had to this thing, as well as, importantly, what social handles you had access to at the time, including your crypto wallet. So you can connect your Ethereum wallet to start with and have that be embedded as tamper-evident metadata in this image before it gets shared out into the world. But why does this matter? Again, imagine you are a collector, or you're going out to sort of purchase an NFT. You want assurances that that NFT is actually created by the artist in hand, and it hasn't been sort of copy-minted or sort of pulled somewhere else. So by creating this as an opt-in system within Photoshop, it allows you to attach those content credentials in a way that links that same wallet that was used to create out into whatever marketplace you want to mint it on, or whatever platform, or whatever chain you want to mint it on. And there's that throughput of provenance, marrying that artwork provenance of the asset to the token provenance of the NFT. So this is in Photoshop today. And we launched a partnership with 4 fantastic marketplaces: Rarible, OpenSea, Known Origin, and Super Rare. And this is my NFT, which hasn't gotten a bid yet, and I don't expect it to. But you can see here how this actually works, is that I had this asset. I took this photograph. I pulled it and I minted it into on Rarible, and all of that provenance data sort of carries through. That you can see that I used this thing. I pulled this into Photoshop, did some light editing. It was signed, so you know sort of like who was the person vouching for these key facts about the provenance. And then importantly, you see the bottom section here, it says view all credentials. You can go further and to dive into what actually happened in this asset. And this is the key innovation that we think happens here, is that you can dig deeper into the provenance and really understand everything about this asset. who created it, where it came from, how it was edited, all of the information that the creator has full control over, that they get to add this data in the way that they want to, and that the world can then see and it can verify, yes, this person with this crypto wallet was using these apps, these services, these tools. Here are the edits that they did. Here's how they created this asset. Then they went on chain and created this as an NFT and going from there. Again, marrying that world of artwork provenance to token provenance from there. This is an open standard. This is an initiative that we are leading with a number of different folks, including those 4 NFT marketplaces. We now have over 400 members that have joined us in this initiative. People like from the chip manufacturers like Qualcomm and ARM, small startups like TruePic, USA Today, the New York Times, the BBC. We really believe for this to work, it has to be an open standard. It has to be adopted globally, and it has to empower creators to make the choices that they want to have to get the credit for their work. I would love to hear from you all. I'm just at William Allen on Twitter, and I'd love to hear more and how we can help you all out in this journey. We're just beginning in this effort, but check it out today in Photoshop and Behance, and keep me posted if you've got any questions. Thank you very much, everybody.